Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning Electronics. In this lecture, we are going to solve second numerical related to Nyquist plot. In the last lecture, we have solved first numerical related to Nyquist plot. So in this question, we are introducing one 0 at s is equal to minus 1 in the open loop transfer function g of s into h of s of the system. So before starting the video, please subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon so that you can get more updated videos from here. So the question is, using Nyquist criteria, investigate the closed loop stability of the system whose open loop transfer function is given by g of s into h of s is equal to k into s plus 1 divided by s plus 0.5 into s minus 2. Consider k is equal to 1.25 and k is equal to 2.5. Also determine the limiting value of k for stability. So first we have to consider a Nyquist path as shown in this figure. Here we have not considered the semicircle around this origin O because there is no pole at origin in the transfer function of the system, as we can see that in the denominator of this transfer function there is no single s present. So we will not consider this red color semicircle, we will only consider this path of yellow color. So we are going to divide this whole path into three sections, C1, C2 and C3 section. Here we can see that C1 section starting point is minus j infinity and ending point is minus j0. C2 sections starting point is plus j0 and ending point is plus j infinity. And C3 section starting point is plus j infinity and ending point is minus j infinity. And we have to remember that the direction of this Nyquist path should always be considered in the clockwise direction as shown in the figure. According to the direction only we are considering the starting point and ending point. So first step is to put s is equal to j omega in this equation of g of s into h of s. So we will get g of j omega into h of j omega is equal to k into j omega plus 1 whole divided by j omega plus 0.5 into j omega minus 2. Now what we have to do, first we have to find out the magnitude of g of j omega into h of j omega, which is represented by capital M. So M will be equal to k into, for this j omega plus 1 the magnitude will be under root omega square plus 1 whole divided by, for this term j omega plus 0.5 magnitude will be omega square plus 0.5 square is 0.25. Again for this term the magnitude will be under root omega square plus 2 square is 4. Here we have to take minus 2 square, so we will get plus 4 here. Now we have to find out the angle of g of j omega into h of j omega, which is represented by phi, equal to, for this k we have 0 degree angle, then for this j omega plus 1 we have plus tan inverse imaginary is omega divided by real is 1. Then for this j omega plus 0.5 we will have the phase angle tan inverse omega by 0.5. So it is in the denominator, so when we move it in the numerator it will become minus of tan inverse omega upon 0.5. Similarly for this j omega minus 2 the phase angle will be minus of tan inverse omega upon minus 2. After finding the magnitude and phase angle from the equation of g of s into h of s, we have to find out the magnitude and phase values for the sections C1, C2, C3 individually. So first we will take C1 section. For C1 section starting point is minus j infinity, so omega we will take minus infinity here, and ending point is minus j0, so omega will be equal to minus 0 here. Now first we will put omega is equal to minus infinity in this equation of magnitude. What we will get? We will get k by infinity is equal to 0. Now when we put omega is equal to minus 0 in this equation, what we will get? K divided by 0.25 into 4. 0.25 into 4 is 1, so we will get magnitude is equal to k here. Now we will find out the phase angle corresponding to omega is equal to minus infinity. So here we will calculate the phase angle phi, which is equal to tan inverse of, angle is minus infinity, minus of tan inverse of minus infinity, then minus of tan inverse of omega upon minus 2, that means minus infinity divided by minus 2. Okay, so this value and this value get cancelled out because this is positive and this is negative. Now we will take this value only. So when we move this negative sign outside, will become plus tan inverse minus infinity. Okay, so when we take the negative sign outside, it will be equal to minus of tan inverse infinity. Okay, we know that tan inverse infinity is 90 degree, so here we will take minus of 90 degree. Now we will put omega is equal to minus 0 in this equation. Again, when we put omega is equal to minus 0 here, so this value get cancel out, and only we will have phase angle is equal to minus of tan inverse minus 0 divided by minus 2. We can move this negative sign outside, it will become plus tan inverse of minus 0. We know that tan inverse minus 0 is 180 degree, and here also positive sign is there, that means at omega is equal to minus 0 we will get plus 180 degree phase angle. Now we will take C2 section. C2 section start point is omega is equal to plus 0 and end point is omega is equal to plus infinity. Now we will find out the magnitude by putting omega is equal to 0 in this equation. We will get again magnitude is equal to k, and when we put omega is equal to infinity in this magnitude equation, we will get 0. Now we need to find out the phase angle. First we will put plus 0 in place of omega here. So this value again cancel out because this is positive and this is negative. Now we will have phi is equal to minus of tan inverse 0 by minus 2. So here this equation can be written as minus of tan inverse minus of 0. This tan inverse minus 0 is 180 degree. So here we will get minus of 180 degree. That means at omega is equal to plus 0, we will have phase angle minus of 180 degree. Now we will put omega is equal to plus infinity in this equation. Again this value and this value get cancelled out, and the phase angle will be minus of tan inverse plus infinity divided by minus 2. Now this can be written as minus of tan inverse minus infinity. We know that tan inverse minus of infinity is 270 degree. So here negative sign is there, that means we will get minus of 270 degree here. So at omega is equal to plus infinity, we will have minus of 270 degree. Now we have to take C3 section. C3 section start point is plus infinity, end point is minus infinity, and when we find the magnitude at omega is equal to infinity, we will have magnitude 0. We have studied in the previous classes, whenever the section or the Nyquist path starts from plus j infinity and ends at minus j infinity, then its mapping is a point at origin. So it can be mapped as point at origin. So we don't need to find the phase angle here because it is represented by a point at origin. Now lastly we will find out the angle of rotation, which is given by phi infinity minus phi 0. This phi infinity corresponds to the phase angle of the ending point, and this phi 0 corresponds to the phase angle of the starting point. Okay, so for this C1 section, the ending point phase angle is plus 180 degree. So we will have plus 180 degree, then minus of minus 90 degree. So we will get plus 90 degree. So what we will get here? Plus 270 degree we will get. Since this angle is positive, the plot will rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. Now for the C2 section, the ending point phase angle is minus 270 degree, then minus of this starting point phase angle, that means minus of 180 degree. So we will get minus 270 degree plus 180 degree. we will get minus of 90 degrees. So since this answer is negative, the plot will rotate in the clockwise direction. For positive value, anti-clockwise rotation. For negative value, clockwise rotation. Now we will draw the final Nyquist plot using this table which we have constructed just now. For this, we have to make the polar plot of C1, C2, C3 section individually, and we have to combine all the plots together to draw the final Nyquist plot. So first we will take C1 section. In the C1 section, at omega is equal to minus infinity, which is a start point, magnitude is equal to 0. So this is our magnitude is equal to 0 point. Now we have to move in the minus 90 degree line because the phase angle is minus 90 degree, like this. At omega is equal to minus 0, magnitude is equal to k and the phase angle is plus 180 degree. So since this line is our plus minus 180 degree, whenever we move in the downward direction, then we will get minus 180 degree. Whenever we move in the upward direction like this, we will get plus 180 degree. So to catch up with this plus 180 degree, we have to move in the upward direction like this and end up at magnitude is equal to k. So let this point be magnitude is equal to k, and at this point omega is equal to minus 0, and here the omega is equal to minus infinity. Now we will take C2 section. For C2 section, at omega is equal to plus 0, magnitude is equal to k and the phase angle is minus 180 degree. Okay, so to catch up with this minus 180 degree, we have to move in the downward direction like this. Okay, so this is the value of magnitude is equal to k at omega is equal to plus 0. So we will move like this in the downward direction, and what is our end point of C2 section? It is at omega is equal to plus infinity and at magnitude is equal to 0. But here the phase angle is minus 270 degree. That means we have to move towards this minus 270 degree line and end up at magnitude is equal to 0 like this. So at this point magnitude is equal to 0 and omega is equal to plus infinity. Now we have to see the direction of the plots of C1 and C2 section. For C1 section, the plot should rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is our anti-clockwise direction. First plot of C1 section will rotate in the anti-clockwise direction like this. Now for the C2 section, the plot will rotate in the clockwise direction. This is our clockwise direction. So this C2 section plot will rotate in the clockwise direction like this. Now third section is represented by a point at origin, means this point O is our representation of the C3 section. Now this is the actual Nyquist plot. From this g of s into h of s equation we are getting, this point is the intersection point of our Nyquist plot with the negative real axis. So this point we have to find out here. Let this be point Q. So this whole thing we have to find out, which is equal to OQ here. So this OQ we have to find out the stability of the system using Nyquist criteria. Now to find out the value of OQ in the figure of Nyquist plot, we have to first take the equation of g of j omega into h of j omega. Then we have to rationalize this equation as shown. After rationalization and simplification, we will have to separate the real and imaginary part of this equation of g of j omega into h of j omega. Then we will get this type of equation. So this is our imaginary part and this is our real part. Now to find out the frequency at which the Nyquist plot is intersecting the negative real axis, we have to put this imaginary part of this equation to 0. So this is our imaginary part. This whole thing will become 0 here. When we equate this value to 0, we will have only minus of omega cube plus 0.5 omega. So from this equation we will get omega cube is equal to 0.5 omega. This omega will be cancelled out and we will get here omega square. So from here we will get omega is equal to 1 by root 2 radian per second. So this is the frequency at which the Nyquist plot is intersecting the negative real axis. Now we have to use this value to find out the value of OQ. For this we have to keep this omega value, which is equal to 1 by root 2, in the real part of g of j omega into h of j omega. When we put omega is equal to 1 upon root 2 in this equation, we will get minus of 1.25 into this omega square will become 1 by 2 plus 1 into k divided by omega square is again 1 by 2 plus 0.25 into 1 by 2 plus 4. So when we solve this, we will get minus of 0.667 k. So this is our value of OQ. So from this we will get the point of intersection of the Nyquist plot with the negative real axis. So this is the value OQ, which is equal to minus of 0.667 k. First we have to take k is equal to 1.25. So when we put 1.25 in the OQ's equation, we'll get 0.667 into k is 1.25. So when we multiply this, we will get minus of 0.8337. So at k is equal to 1.25, OQ is minus of 0.8337. Now we need to find out the stability with respect to this value of k is equal to 1.25. For this we have to place the critical point on this negative real axis. So since here minus 0.8337 is there, our critical point will lie after this value, and this value will be 1.25. That means between this 1.25 and minus of 0.8337 our critical point will lie. This will be minus of 1.25. Here we will place minus 1 plus j0. Now we have to find out the number of encirclements which this Nyquist plot is making with this critical point. For this we will make one line like this. Now we have to see the intersection point of this line with this Nyquist plot, and path which is intersecting this line from the critical point is in the which direction? It is in the anti-clockwise direction. That means we will take number of encirclements n is equal to plus 1 here for anti-clockwise direction, and by Nyquist criteria we know the formula of n, it is equal to z minus p. What is p here? P is the number of poles of the transfer function which is lying in the right half of the S-plane. So find out the root from this equation, we will get S is equal to 2. So one of the pole is lying in the right half of the S-plane. So here we have to put P is equal to 1. Now we will put the value of n, which is equal to 1, and p is equal to 1. So here we will get 1 is equal to z minus 1. So here we will get z is equal to 2, and here z represents the number of roots of characteristic equation in right half of S-plane. Since two roots of characteristic equation are lying in the right half of the S-plane, the system becomes unstable at k is equal to 1.25. Now we have to take second value of k, which is equal to 2.5. Now according to this point we have to find out this OQ value. So here our k will be equal to minus of 2.5. Okay, this will be minus k. How this is coming minus k here? So whenever we put omega is equal to 0 in the g of j omega into h of j omega equation, what we will get? G of j omega into h of j omega is equal to minus k. So the actual value of this g of j omega into h of j omega is minus k. That's why we can take here minus k only. This is only we are getting magnitude, but this value we have to find out for plotting, because how we know? So now we have to find out the corresponding value of OQ, which is equal to minus of 0.667 into 2.5. So when we multiply this, we will get OQ is equal to minus of 1.667. So the intersection point here is minus of 1.667. So since it is greater than critical point value, our critical point will lie between origin and this point of intersection somewhere here, minus 1 plus J0. Now we again have to see the number of encirclements of this critical point. For this we will draw one line. Now we will see the path which is intersecting this line is in the clockwise direction. Okay, so for clockwise direction, number of encirclement is taken minus 1. Criteria, we will have n is equal to z minus p. So when we put the values, you will get minus 1 is equal to z minus 1. So this minus 1 can cancel out and we will get z is equal to 0. This z represents the number of roots of characteristic equation lying in the right half of the S-plane. So this z is equal to 0 means no roots of characteristic equation are lying in the right half of the S-plane. That means the system is stable system when we are taking k is equal to 2.5. Now last step is to determine the limiting value of k for the stability. So for limiting value of k, we have to take this formula. The value of magnitude of OQ should be greater than equal to 1 here. Okay, so when we put the value of OQ, we will get magnitude of 0.667 K is greater than equal to 1. So the limiting value of K is K should be greater than equal to 0.4992. So hope you have understood the topic. Thank you very much for watching and please do subscribe my channel for more updates.